You are now listening to the sounds of
You could talk about other things and it still becomes relevant and stays, in the vein of what you do. So that's what I try to do with this record.
What was the thought process going behind this record? Like, what were you going through? Any type of, like, different, like, I'm going to change this, I'm going to do this, I got something to say about this, or I got something that I should speak upon? Like, was there some type of train of thought that you felt like you needed to express on this album?
Definitely. Well, I wanted it to be something that wasn't part TWO, TWO.
Yeah.
And I didn't want people to think that, it's going to be part two to that song or part two to that song. But I did have a couple songs where it takes on, it went from Imaginarium 1 to Imaginarium Too. So it's like I have Doctrines of the Lip Swift in there, but it's not so much about me, but about a day in the life. You know what I mean? I did The Rains. Forecast is part two of The Rains. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily about me dealing with it, but about how I see other people dealing with struggles, mental health, things of that nature. I don't per se have those issues, but I see when, it affects my friends or people around me. So I feel like I had something to say about that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Last time you joined us, we got the pleasure and the honor to hear a couple sneak peek tracks, man.
Yes, we did.
Firewada and Cold Nights, I want to say. Both fire tracks, bro. Hearing them on the album a little more clearly, shit, man. You got a pretty fire album put together, man. Last time you also talked about how you're a beast in the studio, bro. How long did it take you to put out this album or create this album in the studio? You're a businessman.
Yeah. I mean, I recorded that record in 2 sessions.
Oh wow.
So one song I did in New Mexico with the homie Bless Infinite Luke.
Yeah.
Who have a record coming out within March. We'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. But that was one song we did like in the cut. And then I had one session with Genesee where he was basically showing me what plugins I needed to use on my Pro Tools, but he let me use his Pro Tools and he recorded 4 songs for me. And then I recorded the rest by myself.
That's dope, man.
So like 2 sessions, like maybe 7 hours.
That's like record timing.
And then, mix it takes a little longer. Mix it takes longer, but recording, I'll knock that shit out.
Yeah.
Do you ever dip your hand into the mixing and producing side of things, or do you just try to stick to straight just what you're good at, your lyrics?
Well, I haven't produced in a long time, but I hang out with producers, so they kind of know what I want. So
yeah,
it's kind of like I have an invisible hand in there. But I mix all my records now, and the homie masters them, and I'm always with him while he's mastering. Not that I'm doing that or anything, but I'm there in that process as well.
Yeah. What kind of headspace are you getting in?
From day one.
Are you Are you someone when you get in the studio, do you need to be like drinking and smoking, or are you like a sober mind space? Where are you at when you're writing and recording?
I'm a Gemini, bro. I do that shit everywhere, and on stimulants, no stimulant, some drink. You know what I mean? I mostly smoke trees, but yeah, I just mostly like to go in a studio and listen to what the song said, the music says. So I have these ideas in my head to do songs, but if the beat says to do something else, and I'm already dedicated myself to be in the studio to do a song, I'm gonna knock out a song to that beat. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if it's the record, cool. If not, then we'll just have that in part of the archives.
Yeah, yeah.
Was there a certain sound you were trying to achieve with this one? Were you like, I need to make sure all these beats kind of run together, or they all kind of sound similar? Or were you looking for a certain type of beat that you're like, I can kind of hone in on this and kind of craft that sound around all these type of beats?
Definitely have I want a certain boom bap sound, like old and new, because that's where I'm from. Mm-hmm. I want stuff to sound like it comes from an EPS 16 plus still, but with the high technology of everything going on now, so the sound's bigger and broader, you know what I mean? Not necessarily anything different. Maybe the drum sounds are a little different, but it's pretty much in the same vein. And I try to work with people who are in that vein, you know what I mean? Producer-wise.
Yeah. Are you in your home studio right now?
Yep, chilling. I call it the moon.
The moon.
Make out of the moon.
I love it. Man on the moon.
Man
So
on the moon.
I'm the moon with a couple homies right now. We just smoking and chilling.
Hell yeah! Shout out! Thank you for joining us, taking time out your Friday.
Hey, Imaginarium Too. The flow of the album is really good, man. From track 1 to the very end, there's a couple interludes thrown in there as well, which I feel like are a lost art and are important to include into an album. Makes it a little funner. When you put together a track list, what goes into that process, that thought process of the track list and the order of the tracks?
Mostly flow, and really try to have something hard hitting in the beginning, because I know people even myself, if the most banging song on a record is song number 10, I'm probably not going to hear that shit.
Yeah.
So it's better to have them song 1, 3, you know what I mean? Have the hard hitters hit you first, let them nod their head, and then come into something more smooth, melodic, and then really slow it down so they can hear a message by the end of the record.
Yeah. I feel like it just meshes together very well.
I feel like he's right though. I mean, like if you draw out the big hard hitters in the beginning, you're already selling me to see what you have next.
That's true.
I'm like, oh, this is dope. I don't got to scan through it to find the hard hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's right there, then you just want to keep listening. So, I feel that.
Exactly.
If you look at a lot of past classic hip hop albums, those first 3 or 4 tracks are usually boom. Those
bangers.
Hard hitters.
You gotta
those
put the
bangers
bangers out.
talking about,
There's always a secret dope.
Yeah,
one
of course,
Yeah,
of course.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
You got to.
But you saved that. You saved that.
I mean, if you have
Slug
a
always,
bullet back.
right there, number 2 on Overcast.
You saved the special juice for the end, though. Still.
Oh, definitely.
Why do you feel the need to include or incorporate an interlude, man? Like Brave New World, that's just pretty dope. Obviously a spinoff of the book. Aldous Huxley.
Word.
So why did you feel the need to include an interlude, which I love?
Interlude's such an over, kind of like people don't really do it as much
Yeah,
at all anymore.
a lost art.
Yeah, lost art, exactly.
It's the guitar solo of hip hop.
Yes.
Just nailed it on the head right there. That's the reason. People don't really do it. And, if you try to lay something heavy on people, you want them to breathe and actually take it in. So an instrumental here and there, not a long one, like maybe 45 seconds to a minute. That's a cool, okay, relax. Take, taking what you just took in and get ready because some more is about to hit you.
Yeah. I like that, man. Did you are some of your art or writing influenced off books like Brave New World? Is that a book that you read very
definitely? Early? Yeah, for sure. I love that book in particular.
Yeah.
I did a song with the homegirl way back in the days, and the song was Brave New World, basically off the book. The homegirl realistic, but I read a lot. I take on concepts of what authors say. I don't try to this is this book and I'm just really doing the rap to it. I like to think of what the author thought of as far as concept, and I'll take on that concept and put it in the song, but not necessarily their words. So I did a song 1984, and it was more about the year 1984 and the things that go on and went on back then than the book. Even though I do quote something from the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself consuming more literature? Or do you still watch Netflix and TV and movies and stuff like that? Do you draw more influence from literature or social media entertainment type of thing?
Oh yeah. I mean, man, I like it. I'm a movie buff. I love movies. So I definitely have all the channels.
Okay.
Except for Disney. But I watch. As much as I read, I like to watch film, and the homies make short films, and Bruce Riley, the homie, he's making incredible movies and things of that sort. So it's always good to see what the homies have in their head and putting out into the world, as well as
I'm a little surprised
as well as the music and things of that sort.
Yeah, it keeps the pool open for more creativity. You keep more open to the world and tapped in a little bit.
I'm a little surprised.
Man, you got to be.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that you don't have Disney Plus. I know you talked about being a big comic book guy. Are you not a Marvel or a DC movie fan?
Because everything's.
I am a Marvel guy.
Okay.
I know all those stories. They gotta come better with that.
Yeah.
And they're telling the stories from when I was years old, which actually made me love comic books. But if you know the story over and over and over, I'm not running the line to watch the next Star Wars movie. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What about Mandalorian?
That's kind of what I turned into.
Mandalorian's hard. You got to get up with the next Mandalorian. That shit's hella hard.
It's the same story over and over.
I like me some Guardians of the Galaxy, if anything, out of new superhero movies. I think Guardians is the one I'm kind of into the most.
The raccoon dies in the new one.
Don't tell me about that.
That's what they say. They say he dies. So.
I am Groot.
Well, they keep it light in that. That's what I like about that one.
Yeah. Make it fun.
They keep it real.
They got
it's like Howard the Duck,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's old school right there.
Do you think you came up? When did you start recording and rapping? Like early '90s or was it late '80s?
Early '90s.
Early '90s. Do you
when
think?
I started recording, yeah.
Do you think, looking at it now, that it's easier now than it was? And do you think if you were able to start over and like you're 19 in today's world, would it have been easier to get into the industry and get a record deal and all that type of thing? Because you've kind of seen 3 different decades and how it's progressed, and now how easy it is to make a song, put it on YouTube, or do something to get seen and get it. Do you think you had been in a better position now, or are you pretty satisfied with where you were and how everything's worked out?
I mean, the only thing that I could say, it's definitely very much easier to make a record. The physical aspect of it, you can make a record really quick. Mm-hmm. Back then, it wasn't so easy because, there's studios you had to pay for, exclusivity, all these other things. But back then, there was a music industry that was producing good music. You know what I mean? Like, everything was of high caliber. The early hip hop was cool. And then you got that new school stuff with the Rakims, the Big Daddy Kanes, and all that. And then that's all competition. All those people were trying to better each other and be better. And me personally, I never wanted a record deal. But I wanted to do shows with everybody who did record deals. Whoever was good, I wanted to be right next to them and try to blow them off the stage. But I didn't want a contract. You know what I mean? I got approached by every record label in the business to do music and sign record label, sign contracts and all that. I never wanted to do that. That was not part of the thing. So, back then it was easier to get a deal because there were businesses that were actually vying to have, people who are adding to the competition level and the quality level of the music. Now, I don't know how guys are getting record deals. Everything kind of sounds the same. And the guys who stand out, they really, really stand out. But it's like, how they even get to that point? Or why would you want to get to that point when you can do it all yourself? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, say you can drop a single on YouTube. I mean, before Drake got in it, he dropped a mixtape, right? Wasn't his mixtape running for a Grammy or something? That's just doing an indie, and he just bought into the music business. Yeah. He didn't have to, though.
Everything's so oversaturated.
By his popularity, you can tell the dude didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
But at the time,
Just like you were saying, everything's so oversaturated.
Everything's so what?
Oversaturated, and everything sounds the same. And I feel like it'd be harder today to get into it than when you got into it. I feel like when you got into it, you had more of your own lane. I feel like if you were to try to pull something out like now, you'd probably have 25, 30 other guys trying to run that lane with you. And it's just kind of a different kind of cross that you don't even want to get into nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one thing I like about what the young guys do, and that's to their credit, is they just keep putting out material. Mm-hmm. Whether you like these people or not, you got to respect the fact that they're putting in some work. Every year they got a new record. And I like that too. I like to have a new record every year. Mm-hmm. When I first came out, it was impossible to do a record every year. Mm-hmm. I recorded Imaginarium and then had it finally mixed down and put out 3 years later. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I could have done Imaginarium, like got that out of my system and then gone on and then do more records, I think that would have, that would put me in my superpower. You know what I mean? Beyond just being in the zone, I'd have been able to just, I'd have like 40 records by now. You know what I mean? And that's the ultimate goal, is to have as much content as possible.
Yeah.
Good quality content.
I love the fact that you talk about your goal was more to do shows and open up and be like, hey, follow that motherfucker. This is what a real MC looks like. That's a mindset of not just a competitive, like a dog, but like somebody that, you know, has a good business mindset. Like, I could do this on my own. I don't need the label. All I got to do is show the people, not the record label, but the people that are buying, the consumer, that I am just as good as what you're spending $20 for. Come spend $15 on my album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That was a blueprint like all the 90s.
Yes. Beautiful. I fucking love that.
If it's good, they'll listen every time, no matter what the quality is. I love a good fucking bad quality song. My favorite shit is bad quality always. The old school slug shit, bad quality. I love it. But I'll buy it every time, you know? So
last time you spoke about E40 a lot, you know, listening to E40. Listening to E40 growing up and you know, really finding his flow to be special. What do you think of fellow Oakland native Too Short, man? Coming out of Oakland, they just gave Too Short his own street in Oakland, Too Short Way. He just dropped Mount Westmore with E40, who you already showed love to. Do you think Too Short has held it down for Oakland really well? And what do you think of Too Short as a rapper?
he's pissed.
As a rapper or an MC?
Just
As both. As
As a rapper, hey, he's
as an MC.
You know what I mean?
An artist.
Yeah. There's so many groups around back then, and the fact that Too Short helped to put Oakland on the map as far as rap goes.
Yeah.
So people go, hey, I want to check out Oakland because of what this dude's talking about. And you know, he wasn't lying in his raps. You know, we lived around and oscillated, circulated within that whole sphere of what Too Short was talking about. She was everywhere, and you know, people were about it. And you know, as a representative of the town, he's great. You know what I mean? But there's more to the town than that.
Most definitely.
For sure.
Most definitely.
Like there's more to like Bay Area hip hop than Souls of Mischief. Mm-hmm. And that's what people want. You know, there's more to California rap than Ice Cube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, we're at the micro level of it, but on all levels, more representation helps. But the people who are representing us can't be mad at them. Like, shit, I'm proud that Too Short is called, you know, somebody who represents Oakland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the same time, I rep Oakland like a motherfucker too. So that's how you know that Oakland has a huge dichotomy.
Most definitely.
Do you feel like lately that music goes on deaf ears because he's got so much out? Or do you feel like people are still sucking it in like they used to back in the early 90s?
I don't know if the world sucks it up like that, because I think they're kind of indie now. Everybody's kind of an indie artist. I don't know if they have the big machine push that they did before, but their names are so big.
But they don't need it.
People who love Too Short, they're going to love Too Short doing anything, especially doing with fucking Ice Cube, E40. Come on, man. Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
That really, I mean, there's no bigger, I mean, you should add Sir Mix-a-Lot to that. You know what I mean? Those are like the biggest, hugest names of back in that era. You know what I mean? There's no names bigger than that you can even think of. And to have a record with those guys together, their fans are probably going nuts.
Hell yeah.
Crazy. Crazy. Sir Mix-a-Lot. When you talk about Sir
Baby
Mix-a-Lot,
got back, bro.
No, that reminds
Baby
me. My
got
old
back.
man. That's like my intro to hip hop was Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Posse on Broadway.
Posse on Broadway was my
yeah,
dad's
yeah.
shit. He bumped that shit in his Monte Carlo. He had 2 8s in the back, and he was bumping Posse on Broadway.
Hella tight, bro.
I mean that, and I mean that Sir Mix-a-Lot shit was hard.
Yeah, so hard.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
For sure. Posse on Broadway is
You know,
so hard.
Always showing love.
For sure.
Hey, jumping into a little bit more hip hop history. You talked a little bit last time about, you know, some early interactions with living legends, Mystic Journeyman, Sunspot Johns, and Lucky I Am. You know, did you ever attend any of those backyard shows or anything like that?
You pissed him off. He hates you. Are you there? I think we lost him for sure this time.
And
You there still?
we got you.
And I'm back.
Oh, he's
Oh,
back.
he's back.
He's back.
Hell
Hit
yeah.
him again. Hit him again.
The question was, did you attend some of those Living Legends backyard shows when the Living Legends were just coming up and they were doing shows in the backyard?
And if so,
Were you
tell us
there?
about it.
Yeah, tell us a little bit.
You mentioned a
about
little
those
bit
stories.
about it last time. I want to dive a little bit more into that.
I go to the backyard parties, but I was at like their warehouse parties. So they had 2 different warehouses on the same street. They had 4001, and then they moved up the street with the homie Rono from Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy. They all had like a warehouse spot. That's the spot where the legends were formed. But 4001, they had parties where it's like the whole damn Oakland underground was there, and back in those days, you meet like the most animated characters. You know what I mean? And those people were like, that's like the foundation of anything I know hip hop. You know what I mean? Whatever they had going on in the 70s in New York, we had it in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s with the Mystic Journeyman. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I met those guys. I had a band. So I had a hip hop band called Last to Serve. And we used to do shows like all the time. And only really people that we see all the time were the Mystic Journeyman. We'd always, we did a set with them, blah, blah, blah. Then we got the same booking agent. And then like, we were like glued, you know what I mean? We were already cool with each other. We became really homies, you know what I mean? And, we go to their crib, they come to our crib. Sunspot would battle my partner Q all the time. You know what I mean? So it was fun competition, which is what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And putting out the best people out there. And the Mystic Journeyman, they were the first social media. You know what I mean? When there was nothing, they were putting out newsletters. And on the back of the newsletter, they wrote everybody's name who was somebody. You don't even have to be a factor. You just have to be somebody who's doing it that we know who you are, or they know who you are, and they put you on the back of this little news, unsigned and hella broke. And everybody's on there. I mean, my crew's on there maybe all the time. But I'm saying there's just so many names on the back of that. That's like Bay Area history, and they curated that shit. You know what I mean? There was nobody who was bringing everybody together like the fucking Mystic Journeyman. Yeah. If anybody has anything to say about them, like foul, they really have to talk to me about it. You know what I mean? Because those dudes are really, they held shit down. You know that bravado that Sunspot has on stage? Yeah. That wasn't just for their crew. That was for everybody in the motherfucking underground. Control your fucking destiny and get the fuck up and have some fun and party. That's it. You know what I mean? They held that shit down. They still do. They do things on different levels. Sunspot movies and shit. Yeah. He's writing books, kids' books, all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
I've been at a Legend show where Sunspot straight jumped out. I'm pretty sure at that level. I was saying I've been at a Legend show where Sunspot jumped out into the crowd where some dudes were about to fight and was like, y'all motherfuckers want to fight, you can fight me, or else y'all motherfuckers get the fuck out of here, and straight shut the whole crowd down, and then got back on stage and killed it for another 25, 30 minutes. Like, that is bravado. Like, he held it down hella hard.
That's how it works, man. Yeah. You're not going to fuck up our time. If anybody going to fuck up our time, it'll be us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what it was.
For sure.
Back to me, you got to listen. For those guys to even throw a show at a fucking venue and, that doesn't have any national headliners, they were like some of the first people to do that. I do that shit all the time, but I wasn't the first. They were like the first to do that. Yeah. They're unsigned and hella broke parties where they had it at huge venues. Like, huge venues won't do that for nobody. You know what I mean? These guys were guys with a record deal. They were the local rappers who were bringing more local rappers to rap at your function, do graffiti in the motherfucking bathroom, to do all kinds of many shit and have a crazy time. They were facilitators of that, so they deserve like ginormous props. I mean, I do it too, but I was, I get my footprints with somebody else. You know what I mean? Yeah. They had walked those steps before, and I keep it going, but they have to be giving their kudos. You know what I mean? Someone give them their flowers, I give their kudos.
Yeah, someone has to walk for people to run. You know what I mean? And for them to walk, for you to run is a beautiful thing. That's
you're doing it honorary.
Yeah, definitely.
Going back to Imaginarium Too. Did you think 23 years later, man, roughly, maybe a little longer after Imaginarium 1 came out, did you think not really a part 2, but an evolution of that album would come out and you would still be rocking the mic, bro? Like, what was your vision back then for,
man, yes and no. I mean, I knew that when I did Imagine It, well, not know when I did it. When it came out, it had the the acceptance that it had, I knew I had to make a part 2, but I had planned that part 2 was going to be the last record I had. So I somewhere else, you know what I mean? Because I have hella records that are just around, you know. So when I get right now, I had planned really Imaginarium was going to be the last record ever, and like the last song on Imaginarium is going to be. But getting a demand, oh man, when are you gonna do it? I was like, oh man, I just did Notes of the Righteous Outlaw. That's an ill record. Oh man, I used to do Imaginarium Too. Oh man, I did the algorithm.
You did it. I think we lost you for a second.
You know what? So after COVID, I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bro, where did the name Roneous come from? Like, who gave that to you, or you know, was that something that you were called growing up?
And what's the meaning? Like, I mean,
that's a spin-off of a word.
I know but it's just crazy. Like, how would you acquire that?
So, I'm a bookworm.
Yeah.
And back in the, like, when I was running through college, I used to always have like a thesaurus or whatever in my back pocket. And then one day I had this book called The Satyricon of Somebody. And it was a Greek book, and they're like, "Oh man, fucking Elron trying to be blah 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 blah." I was like, "Well, if you really want to get technical, blah blah, this means this. The root word of this word is this." So I went from Elron, which is my nickname when growing up playing sports, and Elron. You add EOUS to anything like courteous. That's the actor showing courtesy. Okay. Beauteous is the actor showing beauty. You know, piteous, the actor showing pity. Roneous is me showing you the world who I am personally.
Yeah. From day one, did you have the idea also to like, you do the misspelling to all the words and incorporate L at the beginning, like album or algorithm? Was that always a plan from day one? Elbow, but with an L.
Yes. So when I was in a band, right? And my bass player, Ubi Whitaker, is like the funniest guy ever. And he would always be like, so what you gonna do today with the elbows, Elbro? Hey, you gonna make another album? And he always would say that. Bro, you need to get in your room and start writing your new album. Okay. I know you're gonna go solo on us. Go make your new album in your room. All the time, like, dude, I'm really gonna make hella albums.
That's hella funny.
So that's where that came from.
That's dope, bro. I like the different, you know, misspellings of the word and how you kind of make it your own, you know, and like every album I feel like you use that a little bit. You incorporate that a little bit, which makes it special, you know, makes it your own. It's like a little trademark.
So nowadays, nowadays, I don't want to interrupt you, but nowadays when you decide to get in the car and you decide to take off, what are you listening to? Anything you want to let us like, hey, you should check this out, like. What do you got up your sleeve lately that's motivating you music-wise? That's not you. You know what I mean? Like, who's pushing you to be like, bro, this motherfucker's dope. You need to check him out. Who should we be looking for?
I listen to everybody. I'm like a classic rock dude. So you know how classic rock dudes only listen to shit from rock and roll from the 70s? So I'm like a classic rock dude. I only really, like my heavy hitter albums, I listen to records from like 89 to 94 albums, but I listen to almost all the songs, you know what I mean? So my favorite young rapper, J.I.D. Hands down, dopest motherfucker out there.
Who's J.I.D.?
You hear a lot of, I'm not gonna say who's copying him, but a lot of motherfuckers are copying him, you know what I mean? And calling that style there. It's clearly J.I.D. He's head and shoulders above a lot of these young MCs, and it's dope that he's just hard-ass MC, you know what I mean? And, you know, as far as old records, I listen. My favorite record is Jungle Brothers, done by the Forces of Nature.
Dope.
It's a cool-ass record. They're having a party in it. The beats are like dance music, and they got some, you know, some heavy thought theory in there, too. And that record was like, it came out in 89, and then something happened with the record label with those guys, right? Yeah. So the record disappeared. So it wasn't out. Like, I have the tape. It wasn't out. It wasn't anywhere. And these dudes just got their record back. You know, in 2023, they finally got the rights to their record. So now these guys are going to go around the country right now touring their 1989 record.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's 89. They got Beyond This World, Feeling All Right, Sunshine, What you waiting for? You make me sweet. Yeah, that's
Man,
that's crazy.
Sunshine, bro.
Yeah.
Feeling all right. Black woman.
So that's what they're gonna tour right now,
bro.
That's pretty slick.
Heavy.
That's pretty slick.
They're on tour right now. Yeah, I'm gonna check them out when they hit San Francisco.
That's so dope.
That's one of the pitfalls of the record industry, though. That's what I didn't want in the record industry.
Yeah.
Somebody just be able to take your shit and like, nah, you can't have it, even though it's yours.
Yeah, snatching your shit up and just like making it theirs. It's so weird.
Props to them for.
Hell yeah. Bro, in Firewater, you kind of, talk about ayahuasca just a little bit. Is that something you dabbled with ever, or are you just kind of interested in DMT and those stories, or do you have a particular story that in regards to your ayahuasca trip? Then, how was that experience?
Man, I've done everything.
Yeah,
I did some ayahuasca in it was in the Four Corners. I think it might have been New Mexico. If it was in Mexico, I think it was in Santa Fe where I did ayahuasca, and just like I got super it brought me back down to earth. You know what I mean? Like, I've done DMT before. I should space, and I'm a spacey rapper, so I'm cool. I could be ethereal, all that shit. But when I did ayahuasca, that shit brought me back to earth. So like the foundation, it made me more grounded in myself. You know what I mean? It helped me take things that were ethereal out in space and ground them. So, I can rap a little more conceptually after I did that. I could write a little bit. I'm a little bit different when I write. You know what I mean? It's just from taking that twice. I did it twice. Mm-hmm. You don't just do one thing once. And, I did it. It was dope. Like, nah, you do that shit twice. It was really like. I did it twice. And it was eye-opening. That was in like 1997. That was like alchemy.
Long ago.
I was in Arizona. So alchemy hit, and I went to Arizona with my homie to do a show, and we sidetracked and did some ayahuasca, lost a few days, and then came back, and we're different people.
Wow. Did you see like a a higher spiritual being, or communicate with some weird creature or
different
whatever?
dimensionals?
Yeah, a different dimensional being, like interdimensional being, I guess you would call it. Did you have some interaction with a being? Did you see some cyber elves?
No, I didn't see interdimensional beings, things like that. You see more like if you're on acid and you see a tracer, or like, me personally, my eyes get all, I get mocos in the eyes, and my Filipino partners would say.
Yeah.
So you get the little crust eye, and when I was on that, maybe that was a crust in my eye, because I kept seeing something to the right and to the left of me, but there was nothing there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was like a big thing, which helped me, left and right, always left and right, trying to find something, and then grounding myself, and then finding myself grounded with all these thoughts and ideas. And I was like, oh shit, I think I tapped in.
Yeah.
So that was it.
When when we take psychedelics and we're on that whole cold chill vibe, I want to rap. I don't know. I mean, I just want to just get on the mic, kind of fuck around and rap. Do you feel like that when you were taking anything else besides some type of natural, holistic, besides mushrooms and shit like that? Do you still get that same vibe? What is it? Natural psychedelic, natural hallucinogenic. Sorry, my bad. Do you still get that same vibe of I just want to fucking grab a beat right now and fuck around a little bit? Do you get that vibe from taking anything else? That itch, exactly.
I get that from running. Like I run, train for marathons. Mm-hmm. I take a super, super long. I run. I'll take a bong rip, and then you start jogging, and you get into it. Then you run. Then you start running to your heartbeat. Mm-hmm. And then you start styling in your head to your heartbeat. And then you start making these noises and the styles and the sounds. And by the time you get to the end of your run, you're like, ooh, where the fuck is the studio? I'm ready to fucking go crazy right now. Wow. And then you run back home, take a shower, and get back at it. You know what I mean? That's I get natural through rap and spirit. And then I'm like, I'm in better shape than everybody. I'm about to bust harder.
That's true.
More fierce than everybody. No punch-ins. You know what I mean? That's Imaginarium Too. No punch-ins. No. Those are all one takes.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't play in studio. I'm a monster on these tracks, B.
Yeah, you're a one-take guy, bro.
That was all.
A one-take.
Yes, sir.
That's how you should do it.
A one-take.
Yeah, know your shit. Know your shit for sure. Come in there, know your shit, get it done.
Does the love for running, bro, come from being like a collegiate wrestler and all that? Like, is that where you get the love for exercise and health?
Even before that.
Okay.
That was I grew up in competition. I wrestled as a kid, played baseball, football, but like, by 6th grade I was an athlete and I thought I was an athlete. And then we did this like mile run, our PE class, and the homegirl dusted me, and she talked shit to me the whole fucking year.
Damn,
so that started me running. I was like, oh, you know what? I am never losing to this fucking girl again. She was a badass athlete, don't get me wrong, and she deservedly so. But that was the point where I was like, I'm gonna start running.
Yeah.
It only makes me tougher and stronger. I'm gonna start running. Then I started running and started feeling good. Mm-hmm. And then it's just, it's just part of my life now.
What weight class did you wrestle in?
High school, I wrestled 138s. College, I wrestled 142s.
Okay.
International 143s.
Wow. Were you having to cut a lot of weight to get to that weight, or was that walking around weight?
I was cutting like 18 a week.
Oh,
damn.
That's a lot of fucking weight. 20 pounds a week? Jesus Christ.
I had very low body fat back then. That was one of our things,
Yeah.
If you're gonna be in these gladiator sports, you get yourself a gladiator body, homie.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we worked hard on that shit. Hard to keep, we were just kids who read fucking Joe and like, oh shit, that's how I exercise. That's how you get them shoulders like that. All right, cool. We do those exercises, and you get strong, and then you got to cut weight for wrestling. And since we didn't know how to diet, we blow back up, and then fucking cut it again. We were young and stupid. Fucking blow it up.
That's crazy.
Cut it again every week. Until I got in college, and then in college I rung it in, and I knew how to diet then.
That's crazy that even up until now, I feel like diet wasn't like a huge thing. Like back in the day when dudes were trying to bulk or whatever, they dirty bulk and eat a bunch of shit. Like it's only until the last like 15, 20 years that diet has really become a huge part of the fitness. Like that's 60 to 70% of the fitness is diet, right?
Hell yeah, definitely. I mean, and if you eat clean, you don't really have to diet. Mm-hmm. It's not even a diet. You eat clean, and you are what you eat, as they say. The microorganisms that break down in your body, the clean food you eat helps build those back up.
Yeah. Are you always?
Know what I mean?
Are you always?
You are a carrot or whatever.
Are you always eating clean, LR? Are you constantly eating clean?
What's that?
Are you constantly eating healthy and clean?
Nah. I'm a Gemini, bro.
Yeah.
No way. I do everything. But mostly clean, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I eat 5 to 7 salads a week. Those are that's dinner. You know what I mean? So if I'm not eating a salad, we can go out with the homies. We're smoking all day. Let's go eat some barbecue. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Hell yeah.
But I'm not eating crap. I don't really like to eat crap unless we're stuck eating crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I grew up poor, so eating crap is okay. To a certain extent, you know what I mean? Shit's affordable.
When I was like 15, maybe 16, we were on Haight Street, Haight out in Frisco, and a homeless dude came up to us and he blew my mind. He said, everything in moderation except moderation.
Yeah, true.
And that shit stuck with me forever. Because now I always think about you can moderate it, but let's not get too crazy about it. Let's go a little bit overboard.
You gotta live a little.
You gotta live a little.
You see, that's it.
Yeah, it was smart man.
Hey man, we're not. If we're gonna live forever, then you should find it. But we're all gonna die, right? And it's not to be morbid, but we're all gonna die from something.
1000%.
Don't die from living healthy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Go live a little bit. Go 30, dive in the mud, do all that good stuff. You know what I mean?
Quit smoking cigarettes,
Eat
get hit by a car.
food, work it off.
Yeah. The worst thing you could do is go completely clean and then you die in a car wreck or some shit. You know what I mean?
It's the worst.
Like, have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Before we get into
have some fun, live a little bit.
Gotta live a little bit, bro. Before we get into the newest project you're working on, Legacy of the Blues Singers, are you completely satisfied with the finished product of Imaginarium Too? I think it's a fire album, man. How do you feel about how it came out and how it turned out? Are you happy with it?
Yeah, definitely. So this record, I'm doing something new. So usually, since the digital age started, I would just throw all the songs on the internet and like, the bonus material's there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. With Imaginarium 2, I'm going to start doing, so Imaginarium 2, there's 13 songs on that record on the internet, but the real record has 14 songs. So on the CDs, tapes, and vinyl that's going to come out eventually, it'll have 14 songs. Mm-hmm. And I'll play you guys the 14th song before the show's over.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
I love
I'm definitely
a little sneak preview.
I'm happy with how it came out, how it sounded, the response to it. I just wish I could do personally more like, as soon as the record came out, hey man, come perform over here. I was like, no, I can't. I mean, not that I don't want to, but I just can't. You know what I mean? Music. I love music, and music is number one for me. But also, it took a back seat during the pandemic when you couldn't. I wasn't going to do, I'm not going to do shows sitting in my living room and rap to you. That's not me.
That's not good.
I'll make an album and you can listen to it in your living room. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that garbage. I'm not garbage, but I'm not doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's just different ways to do it. Different approaches, and I wanted to approach it in a different way. And I want the good stuff to be in analog form as well as cool digital but analog form.
I can feel that.
How many tracks were left on the cutting room
So when
floor?
you get the tape,
like for the Imaginarium
a whole nother
2.
record.
A whole nother record? That's good to know. That's how many were left. So like, was it hard to like be like, nah, that doesn't make it. Nah, that doesn't make it. But do you think you'll use those tracks again on a whole nother record?
All right, so I got the side record that didn't make the record. They're all solid. Maybe it's called Imagine Maybe.
I like that. I like
before
that.
I die, I'm gonna drop Imagine Maybe. So there's like 15, 17 songs.
Wow, that's a lot.
I was like, no. You know what I mean? That's
Imagine Maybe.
Yeah,
I like that.
And
I like that a lot.
Some of us thought we were gonna
Maybe.
be on the record, but then.
Well, if you want, you could just send Imagine Maybe to Milk Crates and Microphones. We just check it out.
Are you still a big sports fan, bro? Do you watch sports currently?
Yes, I'm not I'm a sports fan, but I don't have a team of any place. I don't have a favorite team.
I'm a big Oakland A's fan, and they're the only team thriving as a professional team in Oakland. And I just hope they hang on and stay there, bro.
They're the only team in Oakland right now.
Yeah, and that's what I said, and it's gonna break my heart if they go.
They're going to Vegas. Vegas A's.
What do you think?
Hey, sports goes, baseball's my first love.
Yeah.
I love the Oakland A's because when I was a kid, the Oakland A's would come over. I grew up in Alameda. Oakland A's would come over to the poor kids. I'm talking about people from their organization, give out hella tickets, gave us an experience of going to watch baseball at a major league park that's virtually in our backyard.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so I always have a love for the A's for that. On the flip side, I have a hatred to the San Francisco Giants for the exact same thing, and not opening it up for kids when the Giants sucked. And I was working in elementary schools, kids in Hunters Point. They would not even give a dime to let those kids go to a ball game. The A's would give us tickets. They give us tokens to get dollar dogs. We had everything. We had a ball there, and we loved it. It helped further our love for baseball. That's why baseball's not played in cities like San Francisco, because you're not reaching out to the community. You got a bunch of kids there who don't know what to do. They're hanging out. There's hell of empty baseball fields. Man, tell a player to go over there and shag some balls with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's hella simple. or invite them to a game. You know, that'd be fun, right?
Changes.
These kids make good grades, invite them to a game.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But they didn't do that. But either way, I love the A's for that.
Yeah.
But as far as baseball, they're killing me.
Yeah, I know, man.
They're killing me. You know, because they're not a high salary team.
No.
So we'll get players. See, I still say we. The A's will get players, and they'll know they're going to be superstars, and they'll just utilize them as far as they can, and then they'll trade them away.
Trade them away.
And then we'll watch them become champions on the Yankees or something.
Yeah, they'll go. They're all about bringing up prospects and having to pay minimum salary, and then trading these guys once they start earning salary.
Moneyball,
because they don't want to pay them.
Giants do the same thing though.
But
Giants
you know what?
Get good players.
They're
For a year,
rich.
get
They're
rid of them.
rich.
Though.
You
got to
spend
no money.
You got to give it to the A's though. They always seem to stay somewhat competitive with that mind state, which is always you know it's such an amazing feat that they made a movie about it.
You can get a blowjob at the A Stadium, and they don't care. You enjoy yourself there. You know, it's a good place.
It's a great time out, like the old Warriors.
Hell yeah, I know. I love me the Oakland Warriors. Not really the San Francisco
They weren't
Warriors.
the Oakland Warriors.
They
They
had
were just
Oakland
Golden
jerseys.
State.
I want to say they possibly had Oakland jerseys.
They were just from the city.
Yeah, I know they were the city, Golden State.
No,
but,
they're just the city. They were the
from
city,
Oakland,
right?
brother. They were in Oakland, not in San Francisco. All of a sudden, they won a championship. They made them move quick. You know?
You going to any games?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunate. I don't like how they did that. Really,
They're backed by a bank. You know, the team's backed by a bank now.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
I know basketball and their sponsors have gone a little far with the sponsors on the jerseys nowadays. We don't need to get into all that. Let's talk a little bit about this new album coming out in a few months.
Yeah. Tell them.
Okay.
Can you hear?
You there?
I can't hear. Say that again.
Let's talk a little bit about this new album coming out here in a few months that you've been working on. How long you've been working on this album, and when are you dropping it? Let's get a date and all that.
Okay, so this record's called Legacy of the Blues Singers. It's the fourth record between me and members of the group Tubers from New Mexico. So the first record was Utopian Blues. That was an EP. And then we did a 3P called The Wisdom Blues that was produced by the homie Wise Elements. And then we did a LP called Kill to Sing the Blues. And that was all of it. That was me and Tubers. And now this record is just me and Bless Infinite. Although other members of Tubers are on the record as well. You know what I mean? But it's mostly just me and Luke, Bless. So we kept it to just us two in this title. And this is like the last record of the blues series. We'll culminate it with, I think it's like 12 songs. These are songs that, like, you know, the other records portrayed a feeling with a lot of moodiness. It had a lot of singy-songy choruses. These are just like our raw raps. You know what I mean? So the legacy of a blues singer, in our case, is to bust them raw raps. And, you know, the premise on the last few records was like, you know, the blues is all in 12-bar parameters, so we were spitting a lot of 12-bar verses. So we were cramming a lot of information in the 12s. And this one, we're just, you know, fuck it, let's just spit a 24 on this one. Let's spit a 32, you know what I mean? So we're going in, as well as keeping it, you know, very, very simplistic, but, you know, it's just good music to it. So
bars on this one.
Have the beats changed, or are you still going for that same type of sound for this one? Or have you went like more like towards a whole different type of genre for that?
This is more like Southwestern soul. They have their own kind of soul there in the South, because it's, you know, it's part Native American, it's part Chicano, Latino, if you will, you know, and it all comes from, you know, black and brown. That's the back of it, the backbone of this. So you add all those things together and you got a spicy sauce, and it just comes out with a different twang. You know what I mean? When you hear the music, you're gonna be like, damn, what the hell he sampled there? What is this? And then you listen to it again, you're like, this shit is so hard. That's like every song on that record.
How many albums do you have, man? You're a guy that's
too
put
short.
out a lot
They're
of
too short of hip hop.
a lot of projects. How many albums? Do you
gotta
have a
be
number?
over 30.
Do you have an exact number?
This the last album.
I don't know.
Yeah. Nonstop work.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna say that.
Yeah.
But
Good.
I think I have 20 something.
Oh Jesus, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, I think I have 20 something. But I got, like I said, I got like 17 in the tuck.
That's good.
So it's
Jesus
just like
Christ.
like I have. We did Dreamweavers record. I have a Dreamweavers part 2.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We did every record I have. I had a part 2 to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I definitely have a lot of records in the tuck, but I want to move on to like newer concepts and like we're going to do another Double Life record at the end of this year.
Yeah.
That's going to be a deeper record, if you can get any deeper than what we've already been doing. You know what I mean? So just to expand more, tell more stories, keep it cool, fresh, funky, all of the above.
Do you have a set time where you feel like it's been long enough, I should drop this? Or are you like willing to go back to back to back sometimes? Or are you just like, I've already hit them with something, let them sit on it? Like, what's your long span of like, let me let them sit on it before I drop again?
I don't have a time limit. It's just like I got a lot of creative juices. So it's like I write books. I do this collage artwork. So in between all that time, I'm still doing music. So if I take like 4 months off and I'm just lab doing collages and doing art shows, I'm like, oh shit, I need to drop a record. It come like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how it's going to be for the time being. It's just whatever I have time for, I allocate the most to the music, and that's what it's going to be.
Did you finish?
So they're just going to come sporadically. Because I have like a list of 5 records that we should have put out in the last 3 years, but we didn't.
Wow.
It's like so much content,
So
man.
Hell yeah.
those got to be sprinkled.
A hard-working man.
Yeah,
Did you ever
definitely.
Did you ever finish up Ghetto Tech 2? I know you said you're planning on putting that out last time we talked to you. The follow-up to your audiobook.
Yeah. I'm halfway done.
Got it.
So it's at the good part. So I got to decide if the good part is going to be, I'm going to kill somebody in this part or I'm going to let them live. I don't know how I'm going to end the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how it's scheduled out, but I'm a Gemini. I might have to kill somebody in this motherfucker.
Fucking A. Hey, make it gory.
Spice
make
it up.
it bloody. Take that motherfucker's head.
You gotta spice it up.
How does writing a book differ than writing a song, man? What's that process like?
Editing. Just editing over and over and over. Like, I don't edit any songs. A song is like, it could take me 5 minutes or like an Imaginarium would take me 2 years to write it. But I'm not going back and, I'm going to change this first line so this 15th line will sound better. That's just songs never edit. But the book, I have to start, I'll start with one sentence and I probably have to edit that sentence like 10 times in order to go to the next one. And then a flow, once the flow happens, everything spills out until I get to a point. Then I have to go back and edit.
Yeah.
And edit again. And then I have to, edit with like writer chops, make sure I got my sentences correct, my structure. It's a lot. It's a super long process that now that I've said that I'm a writer and I'm putting out books, the struggle is to not be whack. You know what I mean? Like, I know the story's not whack, but if the presentation's whack, then the story sucks. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what the editing's for. If part of a song sucks, it's cool if part of a verse sucks, as long as you wrap it back up and make it fire. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a little style he did right there. But you can't do that in books because somebody's going to call you for that or that just doesn't sound right or, it's not realistic. So you have to be a little more cognizant of other people as far as the book writing goes.
More polished, I would imagine.
Do you enjoy the process of writing a book
Yeah.
as opposed to writing a song? Because obviously it's takes a lot longer and probably
Might
a
feel
little
like
bit
work.
more creative. You're having to piece shit together. Is that a process that you enjoy?
Yeah.
Because sometimes getting intricate, it makes it a little bit more fun. Maybe it twists up the writing process for you. Maybe makes writing lyrics a little bit more fun when you go back to it because now you've been working on this something different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy. I like deadlines. Ooh. So if like I was writing for this sci-fi newspaper a few years ago. It's called Press Maji. So it's like sci-fi for people of color. So they would give me a topic, and first time they gave me a topic, I was like, oh, I got something for that. And I had like 2 months to write it, but I wrote it in like 10 minutes and gave it to them. So I was like, oh, I like that. Hey, next time, tell me like a day before the deadline. So I'll go sit in the bar, have a shot, and then I'll brainstorm some shit, and then I'll write a story. Yeah. That's when writing stories is just like writing raps. That's my favorite thing to do, like on this planet, but to write in a short time. Like I like to write raps really. You know what I mean? If we're all sitting here in a session, I like to be the first one done. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So since I'm first one done, I'm going to record first. So while these guys are all writing their verses, I'm polishing the verse in my head so I can one take check it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's quick. I like to do things like that. Time limit. That's just part of being competitive.
Why is
goes back to sports, everything. But
why is it important for you to record a track in one take? Is that just because of the deadline thing and it feels like more accomplished for you, or what is the exact reason?
It's not important. It's not important to record in one take.
Okay,
but that's just how it happens.
Got it.
Can I say from a fan's point, as somebody that I've recorded music but looking at it from the outside in, I think that it's for me it's more real, like on the spot, because hip hop has always been about off the top for me, like freestyling and being able to do it in one take and on improv and that type of thing. So if you're able to write something, you should be able to spit that all in one breath on one take, and it makes it more authentic, right? It makes it more like raw, and that's what this is. That's what everyone wants that to be. What hip hop should be is raw, more authentic and raw.
Absolutely.
And I love that. I love that you said that. When you said that I did that all that whole album in one take, that was just like, yes, thank you.
That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
As we wind down here, man, I know you're still into the collage art and all of that. How involved are you with these art exhibits? I see you posting about them a lot, and it seems like you're pretty involved. And I've seen some of your artwork, which looks dope, bro. Your collage art is awesome. How involved are you with this art? Is this a true second love for you?
Definitely. I mean, I got involved in like curating shows is because I have a lot of homies who do dope art. They don't know shit about no business. And since I come from the dirtiest business damn near of all of them, the music business, where people are going to try to cut you and cheat you, I was like, man, let me help get you guys shows. Let me use some of my little hip hop clout and try to, elbow my way into a gallery or two. And then, luckily our homie has a small gallery. So now I have access to give people shows, like, small shows, but it's like good enough for one person, fill up 4 walls, make it nice. But from there, I've also parlayed into like doing bigger shows, curating shows, and even doing shows myself. You know what I mean? I'm going to be in a show March 3rd in the city. It's called the Mythic Expanse or something like that. Mythical Expanse. So it's like out of 180 artists they chose 3 people, and I'm one of the 3. I got 8 pieces in the show, and if it goes well, then there'll probably be a lot more in the future. But this is like, I'm a guy who can't draw, and this is like me making comic book covers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Without using a computer or any kind of stylus. I'm just cutting shit up, and I'm making record covers or comic book covers.
It looks really wicked. I mean, you got some looks like X-Men chick on there, and a bunch of like fucking Aztec shit, and just like shit that you would think that wouldn't go to like the owl with the lady's face. You got some crazy shit on there, man. It's pretty wicked.
Trippy psychedelic.
Very wicked. Very wicked. Very number oriented too. It's pretty fucking hard. I give you that.
I think people forget how artistic the city of Oakland is and was and has always been.
Still is, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Still breathing that.
It's a deeply rooted in arts. A lot of it.
Oh yeah.
Where do you get the cutouts?
Well, I mean,
for these type of like, art things you're like. Where do you get the cutouts for this? Like, where are you finding all these fucking type of things you can put into your little, your collage?
Everywhere, bro. So you saw the owl, the picture of the girl. I took a picture of that owl. You know what I mean? I cut that in half, and I saw the picture of the girl on the internet. I jacked that. You know what I mean? Put them together, and you got a kind of a cool piece, and add some other elements. You got a real something special. You know what I mean? So I take it from everywhere. Old comic books, old magazines, textbooks, any kind of book you could think of. I've definitely, cut them up. I have like 3,000 books in my lab right now.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then they just sit around and let me chop them up. You know what I mean? Chop them up, throw the bits out, or, hand them off to another collage artist. You know what I mean?
The newest one is pretty fucking dope. Well, you got the rejected ticket, you got the compass, you got the Chinese fucking bibliography in the back, you got the old school African dancer. You got all kinds of cool shit in there, like the glove and how it works. Shit is crazy. I mean, like that one's probably, one of the most entailed ones. Keep it up, man. You got good shit going.
Do you have an idea in your head before you create a collage, or you kind of just create as you go on the fly?
If I like I'll see a picture of something, I'm like, ooh, I can put that in something. And I just try to cut as big a piece as I can. So if I have to cut down, it's cool, but get the most of any image I can possibly get and try to adhere and add it to something else.
I mean,
so, get those anywhere, everywhere.
That's pretty dope, bro.
I could take a shot of us right now. I'll take a screenshot of us, cut us all up, you know what I mean? Put us in another position somewhere.
That would be hard. That'd be super hard.
I did a little collage art in high school, but nothing nearly as
like
tight and good as this.
Refrigerator art.
You're pretty talented.
Yeah.
You could tell.
I mean, if you look in Imaginarium.
Hell yeah, right?
Thank you, bro.
Sure.
If you look at Imaginarium, the first one, the title page was a collage that I did. It's like one of those old collages where it's like a ransom note.
Yeah.
And you take different bits of newspaper. So that was the title page for Imaginarium.
That's sick.
So that was like my first adult collage.
That's tight. Yeah, it definitely does look like you can tell it's like a collage style album cover. Before we go here, man, you're a man that likes a lot of shows and movies. Do you have anything to recommend or anything you're currently watching that's super dope that you found? TV show, movie, anything.
The Last of Us.
I've heard.
So good.
So Genesee and I put out this record called Shantaram.
Yep.
And it was based off a book that we had read, like 1,200 page book, and they made a TV show about it. So I watched that. I just binge watched the whole thing. It's pretty fucking good.
Is it called Shantaram? Shantaram.
Yeah, Shantaram. I think it's on Apple TV or something like that.
Okay.
And damn, all my sci-fi heads are gonna hate me for not remembering.
What's it on? What's it on?
The movie, the show. It's Isaac Asimov's story. It's on Apple TV also. Okay. I'm a stoner. I can't think of the name right now. But there's like a lot of good TV on right now. Not TV, but
movies.
I guess they're mini movie or mega movies because they're like 9-hour shows.
Yeah. Oh,
this is like a mini series. Like, no, this is like a 9-hour movie. So there's a lot of good things like that out there in the ethos.
Yeah.
That I just I've watched.
I definitely
a lot of them.
I definitely look at those series like that too. Is like, this isn't a TV show. This is a 9-hour or 10-hour movie that we're watching right now.
Much.
Yeah. And it just gets better and better as it goes. Maybe it doesn't, but it does usually.
No, think about some of these like extravagant fucking shows that they're putting on and the money that they're putting into it. It's a bigger budget than some of these big movies
Have
and
you
shit
seen
like
the
that.
Have you seen The Last of Us?
No, I have not.
You need to check it out. It's got Mandalorian in it. It's a PlayStation game turned TV show. Super
We'll
good.
get into that.
Super
we'll get into
good.
that later.
I've heard good things about
one
it.
more thing
Great.
before you go, Roneous. You're somebody that I've seen live in person. You got a hell of a live performance, something that you could tell that you're passionate about. And as 2020 and the coronavirus is kind of cut down, we've been getting out and seeing more live shows. Are you getting back out on the road? Are you thinking about touring? Or are you kind of done with that scene and just focused on making music? What is your standards on going out and doing shows?
Doing shows, I think I'm about to start doing some.
Hell yeah.
I haven't done one before the pandemic. My first show is April 22nd in Albuquerque, New Mexico at Sister Bar.
Fuck yeah.
That's going to be the Legacy of the Blues Singers kickoff party. We're going to do a little mini tour there.
Sick.
And then in May, I'm going to team up with Aceyalone, and we're going to do a run up and down the coast because it's 25-year anniversary of Book of Human Language.
Damn.
It's also 25-year anniversary of Imaginarium. So we might as well hit people whammy, right? So I'm going to book the tour. If anybody out there's a booking agent listening to this, they should holler at me. Roneous, LRONEOUS @gmail.com. Get at me there if you're a booking agent. But I'm going to be trying to book shows. I think we have our first show May 13th in LA. That's from Abrud's imprint, Keep the Feel. And then we're trying to squeeze in a couple more before we come up and do Berkeley around my birthday, May 23rd. And then we're going to go up north and come back down. So
We definitely.
I got a little work to do in February to book, but I think it's going to happen.
Hey, we're looking forward to
We're looking
that.
for.
Yeah,
we
we're-
definitely would love to come to any of your
And I wanted
NorCal
to
shows. The
come out
NorCal
and
show,
check it
we'll
out.
be there.
I want to get a tour too. I want not cheap, but I want it to be a tour where you're not paying $10 at the door, and then then nobody buys our tape or CD. So I want it to be like a $10 or $15 show, small venue, so it could be hot, sweaty, and we can all get down with some hip hop music.
Yeah, and clear that merch table.
Hell yeah.
Possibly catch you afterwards, give you an in-person interview, 15 minutes or so would be cool as fuck. Catch you somewhere like that would be awesome. At your own personal show in your own atmosphere.
Hell yeah.
He says no.
Vibe.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Hell yeah. Well,
Definitely.
Thank
I think
you.
the Berkeley show the best. That'd be cool.
Hell yeah, Berkeley. We'll fucking definitely
We can go. I
travel
would
out
love
to
to go,
Berkeley.
yeah.
Anywhere in NorCal, anything that's within 4 hours, I think is a reasonable
Doable.
traveling
Very
distance
doable.
Yep.
for us to come check out an LR show.
Oh yeah, I got you on the list, man.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, sir.
once again, thank you very much for
You guys-
joining us again and coming out and spending time with us. And we really enjoyed Imaginarium Too. Looking forward to the new album and looking forward to seeing you out on the road, getting back on the road. Anything you want to plug before you go? Any show? Well, obviously, you just plugged that show and that tour, but anything else?
Anything you want people to be hearing.
Listen to Imaginarium Too.
Yeah.
The tape, CDs, and vinyls coming soon. Be on the lookout for me on the road soon. And let me play you a song before I leave.
Yes, please
That's
play.
the
sir.
one
Sir.
thing.
Play us a
Every
song
time I
before
come,
you
you got a song that you never heard before.
I fucking.
Is that cool?
We would love that. We're blessed for that.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
You didn't even have to ask. We are blessed just to have it. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. Well, this is the song that it made the record, but it didn't make the digital. This is going to be on the analog only. The song's called Rapper Boy.
Ooh.
It's produced by my homie Wise Elements, who produced all of Algorithms. And he's going to be the producer on my next solo record,
Fuck
which
yeah.
is probably next year. Hell yeah. So this is a song, Rapper Boy.
MCMP exclusive.
Exclusive. Exclusive.
Everything I do like it ain't been done before. Copycats just watch and act like they done it more. From somersault to summer John, coming up was never more. Staking out territory just before the wind was born. It's the international, the passion though was hella raw. Dolo, I will go on tour adventures of the racket tour. Ladies say Ronnie when they owe me, then it's back and forth. See him when I left the world, then they call me rapper. I swing a song, I promise, give them all a piece. Peace is not the problem when they spot them, let's just all agree. See so many places, the place is all a blur. I was in my semi-fur, Louis bag by the curve. Style and sounds and verbs till the slurs sound like cadence. And Chris and the occasion spit and speak, that's amazing. The Bay is where they raised them. Told y'all as much. The mic I Cobra clutch. I'm like Hammer KB touch. Everything I do like it ain't been done before. Copycats just watch and act like they done it more. From somersault to summer John, coming up was ample more. Staking out the territory just before the wind was born. It's the international, the passion though was hella raw. Dolo, I will go on tour adventures of the racket tour. Ladies say Ronnie when they owe me, then it's back and forth. See him when I left the world, then they call me rapper boy. In my sculpture class, trap the culture, feature blast, captivate. The fast traffic saying you the best. In my flesh suit, Ronnie took the rescue. The streets is not a refuge that blessed you, and that's cute. Picture me elevating daily operations. I cook a beat a few, barbecue and eat them too. Speak as the season do. I'm on my throne. Contour for my Sharia war when the beat is on. Everything I do like it ain't been done before. Copycats just watch and act like they done it more. From somersault to summer John, coming up was ample more. Staking out the territory just before the wind was born. It's the international, the passion though was hella raw. Dolo, I will go on tour adventures of the racket. So ladies say Ronnie when they owe me, then it's back and forth. See him when I left the world, then they call me rapper boy. I tap the poet, black artist in the macro boy. Homie saying that a boy, I've been thinking rapping boy. So back and forth, losing step where I'm grounded. Pieces splashes in the fountain, solo work is astounding. Next phase, next level, rebel on the mountain. Backstage clowning, it's the stages I be counting. So it's in my mind, my actors say I'm bluffing. Feeling like a mic when I'm starting up something. Everything I do like it ain't been done before. Copycats just watch and act like they done it before. From somersault to summer John, coming up was ample more. Staking out the territory just before the wind was born. It's the international, the passion though was hella raw. Dolo, I will go on tour adventures of the racket tour. Ladies say Ronnie when they owe me, then it's back and forth. See him when I left the world, then they call me rapper boy.
That's an instant classic,
Hard.
bro. Instant
MCMP
classic.
exclusive right there.
Woo! Man, that's a dope track, brother.
Hard.
Hey, all I gotta say is Roneous
Sir,
has
thank
not lost his fastball. He still got it. You know what I mean? Still got the heat.
Never lost it.
Word up, man. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fastest.
Well, once again, thank you to you very much for stepping out and joining us on the podcast and sharing brand new exclusive music with us. Did not have to do that, and we're really appreciative of that. We appreciate your time, and hopefully we can talk to you again very soon whenever this new album comes out, and we'll chop it up about that.
Hell yeah, for surely, man.
Hell yeah. Roneous, thank you again for everything. Everyone give it up for the one and only L.O.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah.